Okay, for some reason, and I will never understand this, I'm gonna be brutally damn honest, okay? I have no idea how this happened, but you guys blew up my video of my first fight. And to this day, I'll never understand why. Like, I love you guys for it. Like, seriously, it has over 1 million views on YouTube, and it's insane. This channel has been blowing up ever since. Like, we already have 2 plaques. We're going insane. We're going sicko mode with all these amazing videos, and I love you guys for it. But this story goes out to the people that wanted to see more fight stories, because apparently a lot of you guys were like, there's no way that was your first fight. Doesn't make any sense. You can't even fight in the story. And that is true. I didn't actually fight. I technically just got pushed on the ground and cops came. Sorry for everyone that I just spoiled the story for. If you guys still want to go check that out and go show support on it, go for it. Seriously, it's a good story. But other than that, let's get into this crazy new one. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story takes place back in high school. Back in high school, I am not gonna lie, like I said, I wasn't a fighter. But from, my first fight compared to this fight that I'm about to tell you about, I want to say it was like a 1-year gap. So think of like the first fight story and then 1 year later. Because obviously, my first fight story was like, I don't know, like my first year of high school. And this was like my second year. And this was when I was like, more in the F-boy phase. So, your boy's getting a little trouble. And I'm not gonna lie, I've had a lot of fights back in my day. I've done a lot of like, fights back in high school and stuff. I wouldn't say I wasn't like, winning all of them, and nor was I like the biggest fighter. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I wasn't. But encountering people in the type of F-boy way I was pretty easy. But going on, let's get straight into this. So back in high school, I remember there was a really cool chick that I actually was like generally just good friends with. As rare as it is, me being friends with a chick, this chick was actually considerably like a really nice girl. She was nice to me. She was calm. She was relaxing. Like she, how do I put this? She had like no way of like, showing me that she was attracted to me. But at the same time, that's probably because she had a boyfriend at the time. And I remember, she'd always like talk to me, help me with homework and stuff. And, we'd keep things actually really casual. Me and her, we never planned on doing anything. We never talked, in any way as if, we were attracted to each other at all, which was a good thing at first. But then I started realizing like over time, she would come into class really sad or really upset or just annoyed in general. And obviously me trying to be a good friend, I'm just straight up like, yo, like, is everything all right? Like, you okay? And she told me how like, things were getting hard in her life and stuff like that. At first I thought it was like a family thing. So I kind of backed off, because I'm not gonna lie, when it comes to family, like unless you're really that close with a person, you shouldn't get involved. But then I started talking to her even more, and I kind of like not really pushed her, but in a way I kind of just said like, like if you need me, I'm here. And she ended up telling me the truth. Apparently her boyfriend and her were having issues and stuff, and she was planning on ending it, but she just couldn't get that full push to do it. So, me, being a nice guy I was like, oh, well, I mean, like, do you want to like hang out or like talk about it and stuff? And for some reason she said yes right on the spot. Now I know what everyone's thinking, like, oh, you're taking a girl with like, a bad relationship and trying to like take her out of it. No, that's not the case at all. I wasn't trying to take her out of the relationship. I was just trying to give her a new perspective. Actually, no. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. It did actually kind of seem like that. I can't deny the inevitable. Anyways, I remember me and her, we went to the mall. We started walking around the mall and stuff, because if you guys may know from previous stories, this mall was right beside my high school. Okay, the mall was literally right beside it. I don't know how many times I'm gonna be putting this in like stories and telling you guys like anytime about like me going to the mall and stuff. Just remember, it was right beside my high school. I'm gonna say it a lot, so just get used to it. But going on though, yeah, so we went to the mall, we started talking, and we started talking about, how things are going and stuff. And I remember we were like walking around to the point where she actually wanted ice cream. And of course me, I was like, you know what, like, yeah, sure, let's go get some ice cream. Poggers, my dude. I didn't actually say poggers. That's weird. Don't say that in front of a girl. I learned that the hard way. But no, basically we went over to the ice cream and we got some ice cream together, and we sat down at the food court. And when we sat down at the food court, I recognized her boyfriend showing up at the mall on his phone, and you can already tell he was on Snap Maps looking for his girlfriend, which is kind of, well, really weird. But no, straight up, I remember he was walking around the food court and he saw me with his girlfriend, and he basically walked down to us like a plane, dude. Like he was like soaring to us. Like it was scary, dude. And I'm not even joking. Like I was kind of panicking. I was like, oh crap, like this is not gonna be a good situation. So I remember me with my weird highlighter jacket, I literally stood up in front of him. I'm like, oh, like what's going on and stuff like that, trying to be nice to the guy, to make it seem like, nothing was going on. And of course he had to make it a big scene, which I don't blame him in a way. Like to this day, I actually still don't blame him, because I'm gonna be honest, it was a big deal. Me being in front of like, him with his girlfriend without him knowing, it was kind of cheeky. I'm not gonna lie. And to this day, like I always think about that and rerun the situation in my head, and I think, damn, that was a mistake. But no, like I said though, going on, he literally saw me and he was like coming up to me and he's acting all like tough. And by acting tough, I mean, I don't know why, but a lot of kids in my area, when they think of acting tough, they think about, basically acting like a gang kid or acting like he's a part of a gang or something like that. It was kind of weird. And he walked up to me, he's like, oh, what you doing, bro? Huh? What you with my girl for, bro? What are you trying to do? Squat? You trying to get them down, bro? You trying to scrap down right now in the mall right now? And me, of course, speaking only proper English, it was kind of weird hearing hearing him say that. You know, like, I'll never understand how gang kids talk. Like, I don't know why, but like me as a Canadian, you know, I speak proper English, or at least I try to in a way for these videos. But I guess a lot of kids back in like high school, they talk, you know, skitty beep bop bop, you know, and act like they're part of a SoundCloud rap crew and just, you know, get high all the time. I don't know. It's just depressing, dude. Like, seriously, if you're one of those kids, change your life, because you're not getting anywhere with it. So like I was saying though, straight up, I remember I was like doing my own thing and I was like, damn, like, bro, like, I'm sorry, like, it's not what it looks like at all. And he straight up gets pissed. He's like, nah, dude, like, you're going down like right now. And I'm not even joking. This guy, he started throwing his hands at me like crazy. He was punching me left and right, and I was getting hit. I was. And I'm not gonna lie, I put my arms up to like defend my face, because of course your boy wears glasses, so he doesn't want to get those ruined, because I'm not ruining a $300 pair like glasses. Like, I'm just not. It doesn't make sense to me. And yeah, so he starts throwing punches like crazy. Me, I start kind of blocking him as best as I can. I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't the best at it, because this was only like my second fight ever. Well, technically second. And I remember as I'm blocking him, I start freaking out. I take off my glasses and I ram him to the ground. How did I do that? I have no idea. To this day, I question how I rammed him to the ground, but apparently like my maneuver was straight up bend over. Bend over. Sorry. Yeah, I straight up bent over and rammed him up against the food court wall. And from there, I started punching his liver, which I don't know. I guess I saw in Kung Fu Panda was really, I don't know, a good way to actually hit someone down. And he started like straight up hitting me in the back of the head until eventually I just dropped on the floor. He started kicking me, and then his girlfriend yelled. His girlfriend straight up yelled, "Stop! Just stop!" And right at that spot, he actually freaked out. He's like, "What's wrong? Like, this guy, like, you're cheating on me with him?" And the girl went to explain to him, "I'm breaking up with you." What? You're telling me that I took a beating just for you to actually have the balls to say, like, you know, break up with your boyfriend? Like, is this for real? Like, I was actually like kind of pissed off and stressed at the same time, but at the same time, the back of my head was hurting like a crazy maniac, because I didn't really care. And I remember, like, you know, the mall security came. He asked about the situation. Me, I'm just laying there on the ground like it just hurt like crazy. Obviously, cops would have to be called, because everyone was saying how, you know, like, he beat me in the back of the head. He got arrested. Me, I had to go home, so I went home. My parents were asking if I was okay, and blah blah blah. Long story short, the girl ended up texting me the next day saying like, "Hey, like, thanks for taking that fight for me." Bro, I didn't fight for you. He fought me because he thought I was doing something wrong. And yeah, it just kind of sucked overall how basically I took a beating for a chick. Don't get me wrong, taking a beating for a chick's never a bad thing if they're like actually sorry, wait, I shouldn't say chick. Sorry, let me rephrase that. You shouldn't take a beating for a girl unless it's actually your girl. But I don't know, I guess long story short, tough luck. Anyways, guys, that's basically it for the story. Make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe and follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace. I remember as I was in my high school hallway, out of nowhere, I ended up seeing these middle schoolers walk up to me and instantly started beating me up out of nowhere. Like, one was punching my face, the other one was kicking me in the stomach, and I almost cried. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a super embarrassing, but yet I gotta say, really weird story. Today's story all takes place back when I was in high school, and this was my grade 11 year. Yes, I was in grade 11 when this happened. And basically, I remember my grade 11 year, I was just kind of like hanging out and doing my own thing, but I'm not gonna lie to you, like I usually say in every story, I was a major player, meaning that like if there was a girl that I found attractive in my high school, I would probably go for her. And I remember one time there was a girl in my grade 11 year that I was kind of like interested in, and she was in my gym class. Now this girl, she was really attractive and she looked really young, but she was my age. I confirmed it. And I remember I ended up walking up to her, and me and her, we kind of like talked to each other a lot, and well, me and her became really good friends. But one thing that this girl kept telling me throughout the entire time me and her were speaking was that she always said the words, "Oh, like, I have a boyfriend, so like I don't really know if we can actually like hang out, but like, yeah, you're cool." And I always found this super weird, because every time I would ask her friends about her boyfriend, or even ask like, you know, anyone that knew her who her boyfriend was, no one had an answer. It was super weird. It was like she was hiding like a secret boyfriend, but at the same time a non-real boyfriend. And every time I would ask her like, "Oh, like, who's your boyfriend?" "Oh, like, he like goes to another school." Bruh, he goes to another school? That was always the answer she gave me. Now me, I'm not gonna lie to you, when I asked her what school he went to, she would not say. And at this point, I actually felt really, well, I felt hurt. Because why would this girl that me and her got along really well in my gym class lie about having a boyfriend to me? Like, am I that ugly? Was I really not that interesting to her? Like, me and her, we got along great, so why wouldn't she want to talk to me? At this moment, I felt really weird, and I remember I ended up feeling very off because, well, like I said, I didn't understand why. So I remember one time I ended up walking up to her during gym class, and I walked up to her saying, hey, like, I have a question. Like, do you like naturally just like, you know, hate me or something? No. Why would I hate you? You're like one of my good friends in class. Yeah, I get that I'm your good friend, but like, why do you have to lie about having a boyfriend? What do you mean lie? I'm not lying about a boyfriend. Why would I lie about that? Well, I don't know. Like, you say you have one, but you can't even say what school he goes to. Nothing. At this moment, I saw her eyes open wide when she looked at me, and she told me, well, it's kind of a weird situation, and like, I don't really want to talk about it. What do you mean it's a weird situation? Like, are you actually with him? Are you not with him? And then that's when she ended up actually grabbing me by my wrist, and she ended up pulling me out of the gym classroom in the middle of class, and she pulled me towards the locker room saying, okay, Bubba, I'm not gonna lie to you. My boyfriend, he's a lot younger than you think. Younger? Like, what do you mean? Like, he's in grade 9? No, he's not in grade 9. He's actually in grade 7. When she told me that her boyfriend was a middle schooler, I was so disgusted. Like, I am not joking. This grade 11 girl, reminder, this girl was like, what? Grade 11's like 16, 17, was dating someone that was in like 12 to 13 years old. Like, you know how weird that is? Like, guys, there is a golden rule. Your grades must touch. Your ages should not be 2 years younger or 1 year older. There is no more in between. Like, that is so weird to me that this girl was dating someone that was literally that young. And I remember I looked at her and said, you're dating a middle schooler. Like, you know how weird that is, right? Like, he's just a kid, but you don't know him. He's super mature and he's so kind to me, and like, everyone like feels threatened by him because, like, you know, he's a gangster. You're dating a middle school gangster. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was at loss for words when she told me that he was a gangster, and I will say this, I was not convinced. I remember I ended up kind of laughing, and I ended up being like, okay, well, I mean, like, you know, if that relationship ever ends, just hit me up, I guess. And me and her, we ended up going our separate ways. I'm not gonna lie to you, after that gym class, me and her, we haven't spoken to each other for like 2 weeks, and every time I would see her in gym class, we didn't speak at all to each other because, well, I don't know, I felt really weirded out that she would rather date a little kid than actually, like, you know, try going out with an actual adult. Well, adult, grade 11 realistically, but you know what I mean, like someone her own age. But then I remember there was this one day where I ended up getting a text on my phone. I got a text on my phone. It was from this girl that I actually, you know, was talking to in my gym class, and she ended up texting me saying, hey, Bubba, can I call you? And that's when I said, sure, why not? And when she called me, I remember she was crying over the phone saying, Bubba, like, he broke up with me. Like, he said, like, I wasn't good enough, and like, this sucks. And this girl was like crying so much over a middle schooler. I remember I only did the one thing I was good at the time, and that was basically invite her to my house and make her feel comfortable. So I remember basically literally that same day, she ended up basically coming over to my place, and we ended up talking things through, and she was sitting in my bed just crying about everything that was going on, about how, you know, how apparently his gang was like not interested in her being a part of the team and stuff. I don't know. It was a bunch of weird stuff that made no sense to me, and I was cringing the whole time, but the only thing I could do was comfort her with what was between my legs. And me and her, we ended up doing the devil's tango. Honestly, after that moment, I remember this girl had like a major interest in me, and me and her, she ended up basically like wanting to like talk to me and see me a lot more. And well, I guess, I don't know, after that day, every time when I saw her at school, she would be really attached to me to the point where the whole school knew that this girl was interested in me. And me thinking that this was gonna lead to no problems whatsoever, well, boy, was I wrong. Because I remember there was one day where after school, I was basically walking up to my car that I had in grade 11. And as I was walking up to the car, I ended up seeing this kid walk up to me. Now, this kid did not go to my school, and he was wearing like these really baggy pants. And he walked up to me saying, yo, Squaw, can I talk to you for a second, bro? Yeah, sure. What's going on, kid? What'd you call me? You call me a kid, bro? Bro, I know what you're doing with my girl, bro. And I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna get her back, bro. My gang might not like her, but like, I like her. So like, you better back off, brother. You know what I'm saying, dog? At this point, I looked at this kid and I was like, wait, are you speaking English to me? Like, is this English? And I remember I looked at him like, dude, like, are you the middle schooler that like was dating the chick that's interested in me right now? I remember he looked at me. He's like, bro, age is just a number, dog. Like, what are you saying to me, bro? Like, why are you trying to be that cool guy, huh? What, you think you're just because you're older and you drive a car, you think you're better than me, dog? I remember this guy was like basically so irritating, and his voice was the most like irritating, aggravating thing I've ever heard in my lifetime of being existing on this earth. And I looked at him and told him, yo, bro, listen, man, I don't want to hurt you. You do your own thing. I'll do my own thing. And just like, you know, walk away. At that point, he actually kind of felt threatened. And he's like, you know what, dog? Keep talking your smack. I'll see you later. And he ended up walking away. Now, me thinking that this was the most childish thing that a middle schooler could do, but made sense because he was a middle schooler. I remember I walked away and I ended up driving home, and I ended up basically calling the girl that was interested in me and told her the whole situation that happened in the parking lot. She ended up telling me, oh, like, you should be careful. Like, he has a gang, and like his gang will like actually jump you. Like, just, you gotta be safe. At that moment, I'm like, bro, I'm going nowhere near his middle school. He does not know anything about me. I barely go out nowadays. Like, do you really think he's going to jump me? Like, really? That makes no no sense. But then out of nowhere, I remember 2 days went by. It was a Friday. And I remember on Friday, the middle schoolers would get out like an hour earlier out of school compared to the high schoolers because we had still like one more period more than them on Fridays. And I was walking around my school and it was towards like basically the period before my last class. And as I was walking down the hallway, I ended up seeing the middle school kid walk up to me across from the hallway, and he was heading towards me like head first, charging at me. I was so like nervous, and I'm like, wait, what are you doing here? And he's like, bro, I'm gonna get my girl back, dog. Watch this, loser. I remember he ended up headbutting me to the stomach and ended up pushing me up against the lockers. And then out of nowhere, I remember I ended up basically like grabbing this kid, and I actually like ended up punching him as well. Like I actually started beating up a middle schooler, which sounds really bad, and no one should fight. I'm just saying violence is never the answer. But if you're like one of those gangster wannabe losers that really have no life and no career and probably belong in a cell at such an early age, then yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I started punching the kid out, and one thing led to another. He ended up saying the words, yo, Guavo, pull up, dog. And out of nowhere, this fat kid that was in middle school waddled over to me, and he instantly just grabbed me by my legs, like kind of like tackled me like a rugby tackle, and started punching me on the ground. One was punching my face, the other one was literally kicking me on the stomach, and I was just like freaking out, and I was about to cry because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, that kid, he was wearing like black Air Forces, so this kid really knew what he was repping. And I was like kind of like in panic, and out of nowhere, there were like kids walking down the hallway, and they saw what was going on and started calling for a teacher. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, cops were called to the school, and this middle school kid got arrested. But the reason he got arrested was not only for the violence, but apparently he had a knife in his pocket. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, he ended up getting driven home because, well, he was too young to actually be arrested. And all I'm gonna say is that I got jumped by middle schoolers. This was something super embarrassing that I did not want to tell you guys. But if you guys think you guys could take on 2 middle schoolers, then follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys.